Chris Crockarell. I want to explain some of the techniques to clean sweep. You know, this is a quintet that came out this last fall for roll-off on the 09 concert library. I just want to show you some of the techniques involved with that. You'll need one janitor with a large rubber trash can, and then you've got the 4 push broom people, the sweepers we call them. I'm just going to explain some of the techniques that they use. The first thing is called a feather, and the feather is just simply dropping your industrial broom like this one, just kind of on the ground to make a short staccato sound. That's the feather. Then you have the brush, which is simply just, you're just sweeping. And you'll have a couple of different durations on that. One is like a quarter note, I think, for the most part, where you'll have like 2, 3, 4. So you keep the brush on the ground for a full quarter note, and it's got 3 slashes over it, so it's like playing like you'd see in a regular, like a rudimental roll. That means that you are brushing, or sweeping rather. And if you put a feather on the end of that, or let's say 2 feathers, like in bar 11, there's a figure that's just a quarter tied to 2 8th notes. So you have a quarter brush tied to 2 8th note feathers. So it would be like this: 2, 3, 4. Just like that. I think, and also in bar 11, we introduced the slam, which is simply just turning the broom over. Whoa! You want to make sure it's tight when you do that. Screw it down. You always make sure these are tight before you go out for a performance. You're just going from this position to turning it over and hitting it down on the ground like that. So I think on like bar 11 it goes so in tempo you've got a quarter note 2 8ths, another quarter note brush, and then the slam on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know, just to hit that slam, you're just spinning it like this. And you can decide whether you want to go to the right or you want to spin it to the left. Usually to the right is what everyone does, but if for some reason during the piece you want to break that up and just for visual effect go back and forth, that'll work fine as well. And another technique we use is called the knock. And the knock is simply you're just turning the broom to a 90-degree angle and hitting it with the right side of the broom or left side. Again, I don't think in this it was notated. You can decide beforehand if you want them to go right or left. If you have a line of the 4 sweep players, it may be, you know, visually you may want to go every other person right, left, or the right 2 go to the right, and the other 2 guys on the left go to the left. Usually with just 4, it'd be better if you all kind of did it the same way, as opposed to splitting it up, just depending on, that's up to you. But that's simply, again, just the knock is just turning it 90 degrees and slamming the broom against the floor. The other one is called a handle, I think, which is just basically you're holding the broom like this, and you're beating the handle against the floor. So you also want to make sure when you're doing this, if you're performing out on a gym, you want to make sure you have a piece of plywood down or something so you don't tick off the coaches there at the school, and or in the auditorium, you know, the drama director or whatever. Make sure you want to protect the floor, because this will damage a floor depending on what kind of floor you have. So it might be good to have some kind of plywood down or some protection in the area that you're going to be doing this, as well as you know, the knocks. They can beat into a wooden floor as well. In bar 62, there's a section where most everyone is, I think everyone, all the sweepers, the 4 sweepers anyway, are playing a pattern. They've got their left hand on their belly, and it's like so it's like a digga digga dat dat digga digga dat, and they're foot stomps. So it's kind of a so you want to be sure and pop out just look at the accents that are on it. I think it's like and and you've got the foot stomps. Another thing with the foot stomps is on a wooden floor, it might be good if all the sweepers could have some pretty heavy boots on, so when they're doing all their stomps, that there's plenty of volume there. And in bar 74, you've got this calls for a 360-degree broom spin. What you're doing there is there's like there's a brush and I think a feather, and then 2 eighths and a quarter, and they're like 2 beats apart. So you've got like a brush, rest, feather, rest, 2 8 notes, rest, feather, and these are split up between the 4, so it's not always 1 2 3 4. You know, the second person may be 2 and 4 and whatever. But the 360-degree spin, which is what I'm trying to explain here, is just so you're just spinning the broom like that is all that is, but you do it in a time, so it means 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. There goes my broom again. But just try to get the spin consistent within the time that you guys are playing it, and get every player to do it, so it's just supposed to be a pyramid kind of thing. This is the way it's supposed to look. Or the 8 notes. Something like that. I think the part is 1 2 3 4, bop bop 2 3 4. Something like that, but make sure they're consistent. And it takes a little practice to make it smooth, as opposed to like I'm doing it, but just smooth. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Just to get, it's just a visual effect, basically, is what you're shooting for. And in bar 97, this is the final bar of the piece before there's the little outro and people leave the stage. I think everyone is pretty close to the audience there, and they're in a straight line, and there's a split where there are just 8 note slams between the players, just a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dogs. 1 and 2 and 3. So every other player, I think, is playing, like some people are playing the 1 2 3 4, and then you have the other people going 1 2 3 4 and. But the important thing is, in the next bar, they're 1 2 3 4. In the last bar, they're pulling their broom up like this. They're going to put their right foot down here like this, and there's just a vocal thing where they go, oh, stop. And this is pointed toward you, toward the audience. So it's something they want to be able to do in time. So they're going to go from oh, stop, and make sure that snap is on beat 4 of that. And then hopefully there'll be a lot of applause, and then the police whistle goes and you guys do the little groove going off stage. So I hope these have helped. If you have any questions, you can call the office at 800-624-8001, or you can email me, Chris Crockarell, via the homepage email address, and I'll get those and hopefully get answers to you pretty soon. Thanks a lot, and I hope you have a lot of fun with the piece. It's a crowd pleaser. Take care.